So in the previous video we looked at how to create different variables and actually check the type of data that's been stored into them. And it is quite good practice to actually check what type of data that you're working with, because making an assumption about what type of data is stored in a variable can be a little bit dangerous. And I'll demonstrate that to show you what I mean. If the age variable was actually set as a string data type, we're making an assumption that age is a number, because why wouldn't an age be a number? But if this variable was defined somewhere deep inside the code, or maybe it had been set by some other method, it could contain an actual string. So if we came down to, in our code, actually do something like this, you'll remember from a previous lesson that if we just want to add 1 to a number variable, we can say plus equals 1. And you can see we don't get an error, but in the right hand side of our console, you can see we've got an unexpected result. Instead of turning the number to 37, we've actually added 1 onto the end of the age string. And that's exactly how string addition works. We could do something like this, for example, say name plus equals, and then I'll put my second name on the end there. If you try to add something to a string, it just basically makes it longer by adding it onto the end. So this is what I mean by those unexpected results. Instead of getting 37, we've got 361. And I don't think I'm quite looking that age just yet. So what we need to do, if we are working with a string and we want to use it as a number, we need to convert that data type. And this process is known as coercion, where we take one type of data and convert it into another type. So there are actually lots of different ways to convert data types in JavaScript, and specifically if we want to convert a string to a number, there are a couple of different ways of doing it, but probably the best and the one that's most recommended is to use the parse function. And we've got the ability to parse an integer or to parse a floating point number. So if I just say age is equal to parse int, and then in the parentheses I pass in age, you'll see if I log out the type of age now, you'll see it's been converted into a number. And then when I add 1 to the value of age, you can see it increments to 37. So let's do a similar thing with the bank balance variable. You can see if I use the parse int function, we actually get a bit of an unexpected result. And what's actually happened is when we've run parse int against the bank balance variable, which has now been converted into a string, it actually just gets the whole number out of there, so we get 32. So when we come to add on the 0.75 to bank balance, we're only adding that on to the base number of 32. So what we actually need to use is the parse float function, which you can see when it's converted preserves the 0.35 after the decimal point. So before we finish this video, I'm just going to show you how to convert a number to a string. And there aren't many good reasons why you'd want to do this, but for instance, you might want to convert the number into a string, and then you can use some of the string properties, like the length of the string, to work out how many digits are actually in that string. So that's just one example of why you might want to do this. And similar to converting strings to numbers, there are several different ways of doing it, but probably the best way to do it for this example is to use a string function, and then we can just pass that in a number. And you can see in the console that this is coming out as a string because it's wrapped in the double quotes, but let's save it into a variable and check it with the type of operator. And as you can see, that final type of operator is giving us the result of string. So in the next lesson, we're going to look at some of the other methods and properties that are available with strings, and how you can work with strings in your JavaScript programs.